All right, welcome back, everybody, to another Fearless Influence series. I am Sasha Nicole, and I have an incredible guest today. And I'm super excited because we actually, this is someone nostalgic from the DMV who is making big waves out on the West Coast. And so we have none other than Cali, also known as Kalibur, on Instagram, and so many other things that he's doing. And I'll make sure I provide all that information to everybody so you can check him out. And I just want to say thank you for coming on. I'm super excited to have you and just talk about just all the transitions and waves that you've been making, and just the commentary and feedback that you've been providing for all the news stories, the celebrities. I mean, you be on it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on your show.
Absolutely. So I just want to start off with saying, as I mentioned, you were on the East Coast, you were living in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, as we know, the DMV. And you made a move out to the West Coast. What prompted you to make that move? Was there some sort of goal or vision or idea that you had? Was there a talent that you felt like, I'm gonna go forward with this dream? Like, what prompted you to just pick up and go?
The main reason, because how can I put this? I understood that it was important to go to an area that would nurture what I had to offer. You know what I mean? And when you come from a small town, or when there's not a lot of opportunities in your city, you have to go where the opportunities are. And, of course, when moving and going to new places, you uproot, you leave your family, you leave your friends, you leave everything that you know. And it's almost like a new experience. But it's almost like just stepping out in faith, stepping out in boldness, and trusting your own vision and trusting yourself and seeing it through.
What was it in you that made you so strongly believe that you had a talent that was worth exploring? Like, was there something that happened that made you say, like, I need to nurture this? Like, how did you know that I need to do something different?
Well, the funny thing about that is I kind of known for a long time. Like, when I was younger, I was into music and expressing myself. And I was always like the life of the party when I was a kid. If somebody was sad, I would always like go, and I was never shy to talk to people. So if I saw a kid in the corner that wasn't having fun, I would actually go over and talk to that kid and bring them a part of the party. I rap, sing, dance, all types of stuff. I've always expressed myself, and people always been telling me for a long time that, you got a voice and you have a talent and you're good at picking people up and nourishing people. And I'm a natural nourisher. You know what I mean? A lot of people, there's different types of entertainers and different types of public figures or influencers. And some entertainers, they get a kick and they get gratification out of being seen, whereas I get a kick and a gratification out of like involving other people and encouraging other people and having people enjoy what I'm doing. You get what I'm saying? If people aren't enjoying what I'm doing, I don't care about being seen. I want to know that I'm touching somebody. I want to know that I'm uplifting somebody and that people are relating to what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? It's really the connection that fuels my fire versus the attention or the platform. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So when you started doing a lot of commentary on various news topics, various celebrity trends, even just differences of opinions of what was kind of like out there on the street. And you started gaining an incredible amount of momentum and traction. How did you deal with the feedback when people were coming at you negatively, when there were trolls, when there were people who were saying, I remember one time I looked at one of the videos you did and someone was upset, like they just didn't agree with what you had to say. How do you deal with that banter? Like, does it ever get to you? Or especially if they try to come at you personally, how do you navigate that?
I gotta say that my situation is a special case. And so I want to tackle this because this is a really good question. I want to tackle this from the standpoint of how I handle it versus how someone with less experience would come across with this type of challenge. With me, because I've always put myself out there, I always put myself out to be the freestyling and rapping in high school, and you know what I'm saying, always putting my talent out there. I'm used to criticism. Actually, criticism actually is what made me better. And so I always say that a lot of people think that you learn from your supporters. You actually get better from your haters. Your critics actually secretly tell you how to get better. And so I love the actual constructive criticism. And I'm able to, and this is where you got to know yourself. I'm able to be able to read a negative comment, and honestly say, you know what, this person got a point. You get what I'm saying? Or I'm able to be like, nah, they just trolling. You get what I'm saying? And so a lot of times when you get to the level of success, you have so many people expressing themselves to you. Some people, it's valid in their points. Some people just want to be seen. And some people just trying to actually be mean and say something to throw your day off. And because I've spent so much time, you know, practicing the art of performing, practicing the art of music, practicing the art of communication, it's almost like everything that I did in my past was grooming me for to be a public figure, for public life. Because I have friends who I've tried to encourage to, you know, do their talent. And as soon as they get a negative comment, they're like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. Because it's not normal to hear 5,000 people say that you're an idiot, or, you know, 10,000 people to say you're wrong, and without no evidence of proving that you're wrong. Just, I don't like it, what you're saying, right? And so that rocks a lot of people, and it's very discouraging for a lot of people. But for me, I actually get fuel out of it. It's just weird. Like I've gone through, one day I'm gonna tell my life story, but I've gone through a lot of challenges in my life. I've gone through a lot of adversity, and I've learned that overcoming criticism and taking the good out of the criticism, you get what I'm saying? Actually makes you make better content.
As a man, you mentioned, you know, going through adversity and challenges, and one day you want to tell your life story. So I'm not going to ask you to, you know, share your life story
I'll share a little bit. I'm open,
but,
you know what I'm saying?
You get to where I'm going. So,
yeah.
As a man, especially as a Black man, because there are a lot of, you know, times where we don't give a shine to the burden that a lot of our men are carrying, and a lot of the obstacles that they've gone through or that they've overcame. And so when you mention that, is there something that maybe you could just slightly share that you've had to overcome that was, you know, that was really challenging, that pushed you, that hurt you? Like what?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna tell this right now. This is for the givers, right?
Okay.
So I'm a giving person, and in order to, as I was saying, some people get gratification off of attention and being seen, where I feel good about giving and helping. You get what I'm saying? So even if it's like 5,000 comments, 10,000 comments, I'll see one comment of one person saying, you really changed my life today. You know, I was going through a hard time, and I watched one of your videos, and it really encouraged me. And that one person would make everything worth it. And so I have a reverse type of mentality, where some people would get a whole bunch of praise, see one negative comment, and it'll completely mess them up. I'll see a whole bunch of negative comments, not care about it, see one positive comment, and completely be overjoyed and be like, that's who I did it for. You know, it's like reaching 10,000 just to really get to that one. Because one of those days I was that one. You get what I'm saying? I was that person who, for instance, I interviewed Grant Cardone, you know what I'm saying, a multi-billionaire. He did a video, and I'll get back to your topic in a minute. But to piggyback off of the whole trolling and negative and negative comments and things of that nature, I talked to Grant Cardone. Oh yeah, I talked to Grant Cardone. Sorry, somebody was letting me know my hat was. But I talked to Grant Cardone, who's a multi-millionaire, and I was at a rough point in my life where I just couldn't figure it out. And he was the first person that I saw like how to actually take a portion of your income, stack it up, what to invest in. And lo and behold, I never thought that I would be talking to that man a few years later, but I was that one that caught what he was saying. You see what I'm saying? And so I always look when I'm talking to people for that one, because you can't change everybody's lives. You can't make everybody agree with you. But if you could touch one life and make one person go in the right direction, or impart wisdom in somebody's life, then you've made the difference. Because that one would teach one, and each one would teach one. If you get what I'm saying. But back to the things, the challenges that are the adversity that I face. I would say, in being an obviously talented person in a way where I was never afraid to share my gifts with people. The unfortunate thing is that you get a lot of people coming to use you. A lot of people come into your life because if you're a light, if you're in darkness and you shine a light, everyone gravitates to a light. Even mosquitoes gravitate to a light. If there's a light fixture outside, mosquitoes and moths will gravitate to the light. And so when you have a light within you, people naturally gravitate towards you, men and female. You know, there's some guys out there who gravitate to good women for the sake of using them, for the sake of taking advantage of them, and vice versa. There's women who gravitate to good men for the sake of manipulating and things of that nature. So with me having my talents outward, I would always encourage people trying to use me, or people trying to use my goodness or trying to manipulate my goodness or my kind heart. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so I had to develop a tough skin. I had to develop a thick skin and learn the power of no. You get what I'm saying? Because we want to, when we're close with people, if you're a nurturer, you want to help everybody. You want to make sure that your friends are good. Make sure that your family is good. Make sure that your loved ones are good. But then you have certain people who, because they know you're going to say yes, they're going to try to push it to the limit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll try to manipulate that love and manipulate your kind-heartedness. You get what I'm
Definitely.
saying? For their own personal gain. And so I would say that was one of my biggest challenges, was figuring out how to read people and to get past people's ulterior motives, I would say. And it's honestly, it's something that, especially with you starting a podcast, as you continue to rise and increase in your podcast, when your videos start to, and your podcast start to do numbers, you'll get people that reach out like, hey, how you doing? And then you ain't heard from them in forever. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got people reaching out to you all of a sudden wanting to come to events and mad that you can't come because they was hoping to get clout from you being there. You get what I'm saying? And so you have people trying to leech off of you when you become a source of nourishment. And so I think that during the pandemic, it actually gave me the time that I needed to really self-improve and learn how to build up my radar to not be so giving to the point where it's taken from me. You get what I'm saying?
No, I mean, it's great insight, because we don't often talk. We always hear the story about women giving, but we don't often hear the story about men who are nurturers, men who are givers, men who, who also need to look at how to set boundaries, how to heal. Like, we're all interrelated in people, but we don't often shed the light and the attention of the things that we're all going through. So that's great insight in terms of just saying like, hey, like I've had to learn how to set boundaries. I've had to learn how to heal. I've had to learn how to get through people using me. So I appreciate you sharing that. To close out, if there was something you would want to say as a piece of advice or insight you'd give to somebody who says, I feel like I have a talent, I feel like there's something I could be doing different, or something I could be doing better, or I'm a man who, I'm trying to learn some of the same things, or I'm hurting, I'm in pain. Like, what would you say?
I would say that the primary key to success in any avenue that you want to go in is self-value, knowing thyself. A lot of people these days want to be influencers, but they don't focus on what they're influencing. And so in the matter of success, you can get through anything if you know yourself, if you understand your strengths and your weaknesses and respect both. See, the art of war, you have to respect both strengths and weaknesses, because everything in life is a yin and a yang. Everything in life is a plus and a minus, a positive and a negative. And you have to be able to self-encourage yourself, even when no one else around you is cheering. Because the way that this works is, anyone who ever became a billionaire or became successful, when no one was cheering for them, when there was no clout involved, no views involved, nobody cared, they were still doing what they're good at. And so I would say, in order to be successful, the best thing to do is find out what speaks to you, and how that speaks to you speaks to other people. Like with what you're doing, I believe that you'll be successful in it, because the things that you're doing not only speaks to you, it speaks to your listeners. It speaks to somebody else who's going through it. Like you said, you're very transparent. You share things about yourself. And whenever you do that, whenever you make a connection, people think that blessings come from things. Blessings come from connecting. It's the thing that makes us human. It's the thing that really binds us all together. Is that interaction, that human connection. And whenever you are connecting with the right people while also understanding your strengths and weaknesses, there's nothing that can stop you. So I would say this: encourage yourself, motivate yourself, clap for yourself, even when nobody else is clapping. You get what I'm saying? And push through adversity, push through fear. And I want to say this: when you look at the word fear is broken down FEAR, right? When you encounter fear in your life, you could do one or two things. You could forget everything and run, FEAR, or you could face everything and rise. Period.
Absolutely. And we gonna rise, baby. And I see you
rising. Rise to the top, baby.
I appreciate the cream gonna always rise. So
yes, sir.
Kelly, I appreciate you. I thank you. Thank you for the insight. Thank you for the wisdom. I'm wishing you so much success, and I can't just wait to see all the other things that you have in store. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And everybody, make sure you follow her podcast. You know what I'm saying? Show her love. Follow her on all social media platforms, because this is beauty. This is excellence in the making right here.